Good morning, 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 good morning. I think I said good morning like 9 times that time. Like that was an exciting good morning. Where is everyone? I could totally tell it's a Saturday. You know what, guys? And actually, Europe is showing up first. We got Europe, we got South America. No one from the US has showed up yet. Are you kidding me? We got Malaysia. All right, finally, Florida's in the house. My God. Okay, US is really slacking a little bit these days, but that's okay. Okay, cool. So let's jump into it. Let's see. So we have let's just run through RHINO BUX. Hey, Fredo. As I said yesterday, our Chase bank account, it was worldwide. Good morning, Deborah. A good portion of Chase bank accounts had gone negative by accident of Chase, where they double charged everything. So ours was actually negative for a good portion of yesterday. And I kept checking and it stayed negative, and I was like, all right, you know what, I'll check tomorrow. So I woke up this morning and it was positive, and I was like, okay, fine, cool. So rather than, and Rhino did fine yesterday, like no one sold. I think Rhino stayed where it was all day, which really kind of allows us to buy a day per se. All right, it stayed. We don't need to really be concerned with it. But I'm enjoying the momentum of Rhino. I really am. So I'm kind of like going the extra mile anywhere I could find the way to do so, to go ahead and just add more gasoline. So we went ahead and bought a good amount of Rhino today. Now, of course, we bought it up to 240, and that's where we're sitting for a little bit. But the rest of the money we shoved into the liquidity of it. So Rhino crossed over 117,000 this morning, which is by far the all-time high. And we've had progressively all-time highs all week. In fact, we crossed 115, we crossed 116, now we crossed 117. Rhino members, we crossed 550, we crossed 560. Yesterday we crossed 570. It's really starting to gain a really strong momentum. And I'm actually writing the email right now that goes out at 11. And it's funny because as I'm writing the email, I'm doing all the calculations and all the fun stuff to share with everyone. So it's like right on top of my head, or right at the front of my brain, whatever. So that's all good. Rhino bot, so excited. I actually was playing with it this morning. It's on the site, but it crashed, which is okay. Again, we're never going to be upset that something needs to be corrected, something needs to be fixed. That's fine. It's the invention that's difficult. Think about it. We've spent 7 weeks talking about RhinoBot. And it's actually on the site. I was talking to it. I went back and forth like 8 times, and then it crashed. I tried to refresh it, and it crashed again. And then I tried to empty the cache and refresh it, and it crashed again. And by crash again, I mean it just didn't restart. So it has a home base per se. So if it crashes here, it crashes across the board, which isn't good. We got to see if we're able to silo the crash. So say, for instance, RhinoBot crashes over here. I want it to just stay over there. I don't want it to disrupt everyone else. And so that's one of the things we have to solve. But I went ahead and sent over the commentary and my recommendations to that team, and I imagine that they'll probably be on that today, and Monday will be an even better version. So I can finally say with a little bit more than optimism that by next week it will be perfect. Because again, we'll spend all week doing it. Now it's on the site, we can play with it. So that's really cool. In which case, once that's completed, we'll duplicate it out and create the affiliate bot of it so that everyone can have it. So we're very close to that. The webinar, I've been editing all week. Now, the difficulty with editing a webinar all week is not editing the webinar. It's that you're still doing new live webinars all week as well. So I'm editing Tuesday's webinar. Well, then I'm doing a live webinar Wednesday. And then I say, okay, I said some good things Wednesday I'd like to put into the Tuesday's webinar. Then Thursday comes around and I'm editing Tuesday and Wednesday's webinar, putting it together. And then I said some good things Thursday. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay, let's just put them all together. So it's going to take me a little bit longer, but I completed the rough draft of it yesterday. Now I'm going through it and just buttoning it up. I'm watching it. removing, if I said something silly, I'm removing maybe a couple of seconds of dead space or silence, doing better transitions, making the image sharper, and then I'll put like a little bit of background music on it. As of now, I have the webinar down to 1 hour, 4 minutes, and I'm at the 18th minute of edit. So there's still presumably, I don't know, 47 minutes worth of edit that I can remove. Now, of course, you're not gonna remove all 47 minutes, but if I can find like another 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, God forbid, 10 minutes, if I could get that webinar under an hour, but like convincingly under an hour, like 45 minutes to 50 minutes, I would be so happy. I mean, I'd be really happy if we could get to 30 minutes. So I'm kind of thinking maybe there'll be a 1 hour version, maybe a 30-minute version, or maybe a 1 hour version and a 15-minute version. Like, is that possible? I don't know. But that is what I'm doing today. So tomorrow's email will have that webinar replay finally on it. Now, remember, the webinar success that we had this week was based on those that had the time to join the webinar, stay on the webinar, and as a result, purchase. In my experience with internet marketing, especially working with Rick for so long, yeah, of course, there's people that buy on the webinar, but there was always a webinar cycle to it. The replay got sent out, and then the next day was kind of like, I don't want to say the bulk of your purchases, but at least 40 to 50% of it, meaning there's presumably a lot of purchases out there that are just waiting for the replay. Because again, when did we do the webinar? 1 p.m. Eastern time. Now, I understand we cover a lot of time zones, but those that are still of working age are at work during that time. And because they were unable to see it at the end of the day, they were unable to act on it. And actually, when you take in a weird way, so those that signed up for a webinar about something financial that are also at the age that they're still working, one can presume one of two things. Either A, they don't really like where they're working, they're looking for something, an alternative, a solution, or B, they're looking to increase or diversify their retirement goals, both of which would be quite conducive to that demographic, the demographic that was unable to watch because they were at work, maybe even converting at a higher rate. And on top of that, the time that they would watch it would be during the nighttime. And not by design. This isn't me saying, ha, 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 I'm doing this on purpose. But in terms of mental fatigue, if somebody asks you a question, let's say 11 a.m., hey, listen, let me borrow $5. No, get out of here. Come on, please, I need it. No, just leave me alone. No, I said no. But if that same person asks you to borrow $5 at 7 p.m., let me borrow $5. No, leave me alone. Come on. Okay, fine, just take it. Go away from me. Leave me alone. The answer is very different because you're mentally fatigued. You don't want to deal with stuff. The point being, a lot more times than not, if someone's going to make a financial decision, if it's a decision that could go 50-50, they will more likely say yes during the evening time than they would during the daytime. So if you put all this together, I might just be biased, right? Like I might just be speaking from my own perspective. This might be a confirmation bias, but the reason I speak it out loud is because I think I'm logically connecting the points. I think the replay cycle could do as well as the live cycle. So I'm excited for that for next week as well, because that will be completed. I do want to have an affiliate offer ready to go next week. That affiliate offer will be a nice, beautiful page that will send somebody to the page we're speaking of that will have the replay there. You know, I was thinking, there's a song on that I like. I was thinking, how do we put these two things together, right? Like, because in any page, you want one call to action. I've learned that. You know, as a reasonable adult, you would say, okay, well, you want to give somebody options, give them choices. I find that just sounds better. In real life, that's not the case. Nowhere in real life is giving someone an option a good thing. And it's not because you want to push them in the direction that you want them to go to, but once you give someone options, they just get confused. It's like they don't know what to do. There's so limited time in the day, especially if you're looking to introduce something to someone that they have to think about. Like, for instance, have you ever gone to a diner and there's like 7 pages and there's like I went to a diner once where it was like home of 1,000 omelets. Do you know what it's like to read 1,000 omelets? By the time I got to the fifth omelet, I was like, let me just get a ham and cheese. Like, enough. I don't know what any of this. There's too many options. But if you go to that really amazing French restaurant where they have the menu done for you and they don't allow you to change anything because they're like, we make it the way we make it and you eat it that way. I'm not sure if that was a French accent, but you're like, okay, just, all right, I guess I'll take number two, right? And it comes out and it's fantastic because there's only so few options. They're all done with a lot of passion, a lot of focus, a lot of attention. The point being, if we go ahead and send out a lander that is, hey, you want to join our webinar, or you could watch our webinar, or you could just join Rhino here. I don't even know what someone does. I want to join because it's live, but I want to watch it because I can watch it now. But if I watch it now, should I join? Is it the same thing? And if I could buy it here, why would I? And then all of a sudden the person just walks away. So I do think there might be a solution to that in terms of offering a page, and if the person says no to something, then come in with, oh, well, would you at least like to watch the webinar and maybe reconsider, right? Like, so I'm still building it in my head, but I'll have that ready for next week so that everyone could participate. Because I do think we're starting to gain enough momentum that now if we open it up to like the 600 members and kind of nudge everyone, hey, everyone, email 10 people or email 100 people, whatever, that can really do big things. Also with Twitter, I love our automations, they're just not successful. And that's a funny sentence to say, but the hard part is the automations. The success part is the easy part. Well, if it was so easy, everyone would do it, right? That's not the point. It's like when you go to the NFL Combine and you're drafting players. Well, yeah, you could draft someone that catches the ball well, or would you rather draft the person that could run really fast? Well, I'd rather draft the person that could run really fast because I could teach him to catch a ball. I can't teach someone to run fast, right? So there's certain natural things that are more important than others. And our Twitter automations are bringing 300-400 traffic a day to our lander page. Now we've since shut it off because it wasn't successful. And when I say a day, I mean, that was just nighttime. Like I turned them on at like 8 p.m. and then 2 a.m. I shut them off. So over 4, 5, 6 hours, it brought 300-400 traffic. That's the good thing. That's like, whoa. What do you do with that though? If it's not converting, what do you do? Well, what do you know is true? What you know is true is that X amount of people are clicking that button. Well, if X amount of people are clicking the button, what does that mean? Like, what can you do with that? Well, we're sending them to a page that they have to then read and click another button to join. Maybe that's not the thing for them. Maybe they click the button and you say, okay, great. We're now going to send you 5 Rhino. Put in your email address and we'll email you for your wallet address, or we'll email you the instructions, right? Maybe there's something like that where now all of a sudden you're capturing that information, putting them into the fold, and maybe the confirmation is, okay, and here's the link to the webinar, make sure you're on it, which might be the page that we're talking about creating today for the affiliate offer, right? So getting the traffic is the tough part, but that's the part we're excelling at. Now it's just a matter of what do we do with it? And I believe we'll have that solved. I think that's everything. I don't know, things are just going really well. Everything is going the way it's supposed to. Because again, I can say we're at all-time highs. Not in price, but in members and liquidity. Also, the email that's going out today is going to outline the additional bonus, which was the reward that everyone had earned at $11. So if you were a new account or you upgraded $1, you got 1,000 Rhino that has your name on it at $11. If you went to $25, 5,000. If you went to $100, 10,000. So that's yours. You already earned that. But because we had over 50 do it, the additional bonus was something that I was just going to make up, like something that I think was commensurate and offered another level of magnitude. So we're going to match that offer, your reward, but at $15. So if you have 10,000 at $11, now you have 10,000 at $11 and another 10,000 at $15. Now, of course, something's guaranteed. We may never get to $15, right? In which case, this reward wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. But if we do get to $15, that's a really great reward. 10,000 and 15 is now $150,000. And one might say, well, Ant, that's like a lot of money. Yeah, it is. I didn't say it wasn't. But if we reach $15, that means Rhino's worth $15 billion. So for one person to get a $150,000 bonus for being a part of turning Rhino into being worth 15 billion, I mean, duh, right? Like, this has never been the Anthony show where it's like, okay, guys, thanks. Here's a penny, here's a penny, here's a penny. I got the dollars, let's go. In fact, if I ended up with like less than everyone, it would only bother me to the point that if it was commensurate with control, because this is like, I like making the final decision. But if we were talking about a percentage of ownership that was completely separated from control, I really wouldn't care. As long as I could continue working and continue living, I'm happy. In fact, if I ever made over a certain amount, I probably would just donate it anyway. This is more of a game to me in a fun way. Like, it's us versus the devil. Like, can the good guys prevail, right? Like, that's kind of Rhino to me. So that's that. And it is going to be in the email. I'm going to finish the email after this, so everyone has that. And that's it. Everything is just going correctly. So after I finish this live, I'll do the email, and then after I finish that, I'm going to be finishing editing the video. After I finish editing the video, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to export the transcript, where I'm then going to put the transcript into the AI and produce a new article, in which case we're going to produce a new article and put the video on the article and release that page for RHINO BUX. I have a call at 12:30. I have prompt engineering at 3 today. I don't really have anything for that just yet, but I will. So that's the day, I think. All right, 17 minutes. I think that might be the shortest Saturday, assuming I get off now, right? So I am going to. So I love everyone. Everything is going the way it's supposed to. Actually, probably better. Over 117,000 is really cool. That's a big number today. And that's it. So love everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you at 3 if you're in prompt. Otherwise, I will see you Monday. Bye.